covers the vocal cords and the mouth and the spit. So that's your little river. That's why we sing. That's Oshun. That's the energy in us. The river in us, the other water in us that's salty, that is Olokun, is our blood, is our sweat, is our perspiration. And so you have Oshun in you. You can call her you can call her Heteru, you can call her Lashmi, you can call her anything, but you are using the energy of creativity. You're making a shrine dedicated to creativity and abundance. And you put the little white piece of cloth there, and you light a candle, and you make it on a Friday, which is the day that, the universe recognizes Venus's day. Or you can do it any day that you want to, but you have some kind of formula. You put that sitting on there, and then you invoke Oshun. You can get a little brass bell and call. It says, the energy of creativity that's within my soul, I call on you now. I call on the energy of the abundance that's in the universe. I call on this abundance name, or the Maria of God, or Allah, or Jesus, or whatever you want to call abundance. I call you to connect with me, that as I breathe, so will abundance breathe with me. And you say your words because you have the power inside of you, and your words is what makes it, kicks it in. And so you put that there, and then you get your honey, and you pour that honey, and as you're talking, and as you pour in that honey into that container, you're talking about, this is all of the wealth that I'm going to get. My wealth is going to come sweet and ever-flowing, like this honey is going to be sweet. It's going to make me laugh. It's going to make me joyful and happy. And you talk to it, and you leave it there, cover it up for 5 days. When you're finished with that, you take that to the river, and you take your little brass bell, and you speak to the river, the energy of ever-flowing water. That's creativity. Creativity is flowing everlastingly. Like I opened up saying that even when you don't throw a seed out, creativity is alive. Oshun is always doing her job. Is the energy and the force of always creating and recreating. And we are procreators of the universe, as we said when we first started. And so you get to the river, you ring your little bell, and you talk about you are here to give respect and thank you for the fresh water, because of water we are, and without water I couldn't function, and blah, 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 blah. You talk. Then you take that water and you say, so Shun, I brought this honey for you. And just like I'm going to make this water sweet, I want you to make my life sweet, because I am abundantly blessed, because I'm connected to the divine source. And you wash that honey out with your hand in the river, and you just keep working it and working it and working it and washing it out and washing it out and washing it out. When you finish, you take that container home, you dry it, and you put it where you are going to be your abundance for your Ebo. And trust me, that worked. I had a goddaughter that did that Ebo and got the money for her initiation. And then you have to make sure that you understand that the pact that you're making with that is that you're not going to spend it to get nobody a new car, because that's not going to work. And this was the situation that happened here, that it turned out to be not so clear, but eventually the person did get the money a different way, because they used the money for something else, and they were not able to enjoy it. So to make a long story short, that's the one with the pumpkin. Go get your and do not use a plastic pumpkin, because the Orisha, the plastic is not something that comes from earth, But if you get a ceramic, it's coming from clay, and you would use that, or a gourd or something like that. So that's the one on it.
All right. Well, we got one more set of commercials we got to go through, and then we're going to do a song, and then we're going to be right back.
Okay.
Osaremi Moon Forecaster, where we discuss everything sacred to Yemunjah and her moon. Check out our forecast, which follows lunar cycles, messages, bring clarity to our emotions, and how to maneuver through challenging moments and look inward more. For more information, please go to www.asherisha-moon-forecaster.com. Wava Women's Films, LLC, a media company dedicated to providing quality media services while creating thought-provoking, visually stimulating, and artistic still and moving images. For more information, please contact them at www.wavawoman@gmail.com. Please join Ayoka Wild for Voices of Vision on Wednesdays from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. here on OORadio. Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate you in the chat room. Everyone is calling in. I apologize. Someone is saying that the calls are being dropped. So if you can try calling in again, we'll take some calls on the back end of these messages. So we will be back in just a moment.
Join Omo Obatala Egbe for the 14th Annual International Orisha Conference, October 28th through 30th at the Hudson Valley Resort and Spa. The weekend includes uplifting and educational workshops, panels, and presentations. For registration and vending, call 718-841-7886. That's 718-841-7886. Or visit www.omoobatalaegbe.org. Connect with spirit, tradition, and empowerment. Ashe.
Sáré kíta wa bàjẹ́, ẹ̀yin náà ò ní lè rójú ráàyè tó tẹ̀yìn ṣe. Gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń fẹ́ kórí fún wa láyé, bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́ ni kórí fún wọn náà ọ̀jàre. Alágbẹ̀dẹ kì í rójú palẹ̀ arọ́. Lóòótọ́ lalábà ń gbòwè sígbó, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ò ráyè já. Ìwọ ń dínà fà, o sì ń dínà èrè. Ṣébí wọn náà fẹ́ bèrè jẹ̀kọ́. Èèyàn kì í tajà erùpẹ̀ kọ́ mọ́ gbowó òkúta. Kówó lọ̀tà ń lù lójoojúmọ́, àràbà òwò mọ́ o ojúṣèké, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbíkúṣẹ́ sọ pé yóò kú kò kú mọ́, ojúṣẹ́ni tí ń gbẹ́lẹ̀, ṣé bí mo ti kú ikú ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kan náà, oríwo gbígbọ́ kì í kúkú ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì, ìyá àkókò tẹ́ sọ pé ó ti dá ìkúnlé lórí, ìgbà tó lóyún tiẹ̀ ó sì fi bí ti di tire, lójú àwọn òṣìkà tí ìkábojú ọmọ lójú ànírọ̀rùn ni. Wà ní ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ kì í ru tiẹ̀ kó sọ ọ́. Òdìjọ́ tó bá kú lójú aráyé àṣebí péjọ kí ni wọ́n lè bá ní. Àkàtọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ pé ó já ò lè já mọ́ o. Àgùnfọn eré àwámọ̀ tí kò kí àná.
All right, and we are back from our break. Our call-in number, 347-934-0126, 347-934-0126, and we are talking to Iyalode Yeyefini Efunbolade. Her website is www.yeyefini.com. That's www.yeyefini.com. You can also contact her at yeyefini@bellsouth.net. That's yeyefini@bellsouth.net. If you would like to talk to Iyalode, you can call her at 347-934-0126. That's 347-934-0126. Again, alafia to everyone who's in the chat room. We appreciate you joining us today. Everyone who's on our phone lines, if you have a question or a comment, you can press the number 1, and that will let us know that you have a question or a comment. We're going to go ahead and bring Iyalode back in here and allow her to go on into her next point. You are listening to OORadio. Our website is www.OORadio.com. Iyalode, are you back on the line with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and let you go into your next point for this topic.
Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about is in the spiritual community, or when we're thinking about spirituality, we kind of compartmentalize ourselves, and we can't do that. Everything that we do is interconnected and interdependent. So if you have an abundant life spiritually, then it's going to show abundantly blessed without ripping anybody off. And if you have everything is connected, so with that goes your own kind of understanding of what your money is, where, and how should you use it. You know, this generation today now is, our parents used to, you know, come from a generation of save and invest. We were saving and investing. And this generation now is about borrow and spend. And so in doing that, it causes us to not be abundant. Is because if we're constantly borrowing, that means that we're using money that is not really ours. And at some point, you're going to have to pay it back. And so we lose ourselves in not being good money managers. And when you're dealing with trying to travel a spiritual path, it's very important for you to recognize that there are basic things that you have to be responsible for, and you can't just go and jack up your leg or to shake your shells and think that it's going to come that way. You have to be in control and have an order to your life as to doing it. So let's say, for instance, someone is trying, and right now they're going through, they lost their job. For instance, you lost your job and you don't know what to do with your life right now. The first thing to do, of course, is to get centered. The first thing you're going to do is not panic and don't come from a fear, because once you come from a fear, then you cut off your abundance. You sit down and you go within. You go into the inspiration. If you're a traditional person, then you pour a libation. If not, you just meditate. Just breathing is going to relax your brain from a state of anger, and you start saying, now what is it that I can do that's going to change this? What can I do to change the situation that I lost my job? How can I not freak out and get so scared that I'm panicking? Once you start inspiring, once you start breathing in and you get yourself quiet, you're going to connect to the energy of abundance. It will say, call so-and-so and tell them you lost their job and what your skills are. And so you call a friend. And that friend says, I don't know of anybody, but I'll put the word out. Right there, you're being creative. Rather than freaking out and say, oh, Lord, I lost my job. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. And right there, you're putting the fear. You're cutting off your abundance. And then someone may tell you, oh, well, in my belief, I will go get a consultation. In my belief, I know of something that my mother used to say, that if you take money and sprinkle it on your bed or something, somebody always has something that is going to shift the energy. But for you to get quiet, that's the first thing, is that you connect into the spirit to know exactly. We're not going to get esoteric here and say, why did I lose my job and all of this. No, the economy was messed up when the house market fell, when people were buying houses that they know they couldn't afford. That and some other crap. But we're going inside now to see, how do I move from this point of losing my job? You get centered and you breathe and you say, okay, let me now not compartmentalize my life and say job is different from spirit. No, you start getting fit. You say, okay, there's a lesson in this and a blessing. So you start thinking of who can I call or what can I do? You start saying, well, I got some shoes that I'm not wearing, and you start decluttering. And you start getting some stuff out of the house that you don't need. Right in that whole action of decluttering is the power of abundance. So you start moving stuff around. You clean out. You open up the windows. You burn some incense. You shift the energy. And instead of getting frightened, you start saying, okay, I know that someone is going to call me with this, and you start making some calls. Or you go down to the street and you look and see if there's anything in the news. You go after the next thing rather than stay lacking your abundance and getting freaked out. And if you have this belief system, you get yourself a reading and they tell you, well, this is going to last, whether it's going to be long or not. You do some ball. Or if not, if this is a situation that you just have to ride with it because there's something else that you need, then you're able to stay home with your kids and you can maybe change some other thing and say, maybe start a babysitting system or start it. It's all types of things, but you have to understand that from the whole abundance thing is where you start looking for information of how to change it. And so by getting still and getting